Roy's on the row-rut and the bucks are making an effort for the camera.
Stop wobbling, Dom. He's bouncing us, stop wobbling.
Plus, Swedish fox shooting supremo Ulf Lindroth is lamping with crow. And the Scouts Jamboree sees them giving shooting a go. What a packed show! Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. It's tough being a roebuck at this time of year. Some are so busy trying to look irresistible that they fail to see off the chap from next door who's dived in and nicked the girl. It's all part of the merry dance that is the roebuck rut. And, as is now tradition, we're with Roy, who with Butterlow in one hand and Seiko 243 rested in the other, is after a cull buck and some decent reactions to the call.
We've got an absolutely corking afternoon. It's not as muggy as I would like, but we're hoping to get out on the rut and see some good rutting activity. I'm just looking out across the fields now, just seeing if we can see any bucks prospecting about up and down the tram lines. It's been a bit of a bitsy rut so far from what I hear from friends. I've not called anything in yet myself, and we're, as I say, we're now getting on into August. So hopefully we can make up for that tonight and get some good footage.
Our first find is not with call in full song, but when Roy is having a pee. That boy has talent. Roy tries to get a shot, but is unhappy with the position. Eventually, the little buck moves on, which is a bit of a relief.
I'm not happy about that shot there from here. As you're standing there incapacitated, something pops out. Yeah, I was talking about the deer. How many bristles have you got? How many bristles have I got? You've got to squeeze it afterwards. So, anyway, that was unfortunately a missed opportunity for the start of the evening. Hopefully we'll get a few more.
As luck would have it, our buck reappears complete with headgear. This time he comes, but not close enough for the backstop issue to be resolved.
Keep with me.
Time to move on and give this carnival clown another chance. The next reaction is a tentative little buck. He reacts to the call but looks as if he's expecting trouble. The limp may explain it, as may this much bigger buck that makes a brief appearance.
That was an exciting few minutes there. We were coming out of the wood that we've been doing some calling in, and it's a really good vantage point there over a little sort of grassy, rough area. Started calling and a little yearling buck popped his head up, and as soon as he started moving you can quite clearly see that he's carrying an injury. He sort of nervously made his way down, but it took a lot of calling. Almost immediately from behind us in the wood we had a buck coming in, and he came to within 3 or 4 yards behind us. It was obviously him that has been having a fight and showing his dominance and has injured that smaller buck. So it'll be an interesting one to see if we can catch up with that little buck a little bit later on.
Well, this is no good. Roy has had opportunities to shoot, but has instead wanted to enjoy the moment and see just what the bucks do.
Here we go.
Every one behaves slightly differently. With time marching on, we move to the other side of the estate. This area has given us some wonderful row moments. It looks like we may have another. Surprisingly, this youngster doesn't stick about.
That was a real shame. That was an absolute gift. He came in beautifully. I thought we had a bit more time just to see what he was reacting, or see how he was reacting. But I think he picked up David's aftershave, and that was just too much. He was on.
We really are knocking on last light, but once again Lupton's charm offensive works a treat. Out pops a young buck standing broadside.
David. Lost chance saloon again, paid off. Which has had a fantastic reaction. I don't think it's the same deer, but you never know. We'll have a look. And we had a lovely yearling come running up to us in the prop. And then, as I say, I think he picked up David's aftershave and he was away. We just followed the woodline along another couple of hundred yards and had another squeak. And that young buck came out and presented a perfect broadside shot. So, again, we've probably only got about 10 minutes of light left, so absolutely in the nick of time. You always feel a slight twinge of regret whenever you do shoot, but obviously it's part of the management, and yeah, we are here to enjoy them, to manage the deer, and obviously we're out harvesting a major asset, which is the venison, and you certainly don't get to my size without enjoying it. It's probably more the roast potatoes and everything else that go with it rather than the venison, but yeah, no, absolutely beautiful evening, and yeah, it is gorgeous, a superb time to be out, and we better get him sorted out. And I think we better change rifles and start on the foxing.
It's no wonder people go giddy over these little deer, and we'll see you, same time, same place, next year. A special delivery from our postman there. Well done, Roy. Called the postman because, of course, he always delivers. Now to someone else who's a bit special. It's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. Scotland's most expensive sporting estate is on the market for offers over £25 million. Tulchan Lodge, 40 miles south of Inverness, offers 8 miles of salmon fishing on the River Spey, deer stalking and 2 grouse moors across 21,000 acres. The lodge sleeps 26 and has hosted kings, politicians and princes. The Glorious 12th once again sparked debate about grouse shooting across the country. We supplied BBC Countryfile with footage for its programme and put producers in touch with other shooting YouTube channels. Meanwhile, cricketer Sir Ian Botham debated grouse shooting with the BBC's Chris Packham on the BBC's flagship radio show Today. Sir Ian, who supports grouse shooting, attacked the TV presenter for not respecting BBC impartiality rules.
Why is it okay for the BBC countryside presenter like Chris to be such an extremist while keeping his prominent role in the BBC?
Well, answer
and
that,
using
Mr.
using it as a vehicle.
Why is it legitimate, Chris Packham?
I'm not an extremist. As you've already said, Nick, 87,000 people have signed the petition. I'm a conservationist, plain and simple. I'm not motivated by class or by politics or anything else. I'm motivated very clearly, a very clear concern for the ecology of our country, the management of our uplands and the health of our bird of prey population.
But Ian Botham's point is that you're using a platform...
My employment is the business of the BBC and myself, and certainly nothing to do with Ian.
Well, his point is that you're using a platform provided to you by the licence fee payer to make controversial claims.
They're not controversial. What's controversial about asking for the law to be upheld? If I were campaigning against people breaking the speed limit, there would be nothing controversial about it. I and others are campaigning about the willful and criminal killing of our birds of prey, which is taking place on driven grouse moors now.
Quick answer to that, sir?
Yes, very simple. Without the grouse moors, you wouldn't have the game. You wouldn't have the game birds. You wouldn't have the lapwings, the curlews, because it's the gamekeepers who look after the moors.
The National Gamekeepers Organisation and the Countryside Alliance put on a magnificent display of a driven grouse day at the Great Yorkshire Show. Filmed here on exhibitor Simon Whitehead's mobile phone, it lifted the lid on the sport that Packham and others are trying to ban, and showed how and why grouse shooting works for wildlife. We've won another medal at the Diodoro Stadium in Rio. Steve Scott took Olympic bronze in the double trap after a shoot-off against fellow Brit Tim Neal. Steve has the same coach as Peter Wilson, who won gold in London 4 years ago, Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum. Romanians are outraged with the UK's Sky News TV show. A group of hunters say that Sky News paid its members to pose as Romanian gun runners for a documentary designed to blacken the name of Romania. Sky says that the footage is real and that the men are part of a gang that sells AK-47s. The alleged gun runners show off their wares, which strangely include a semi-auto shotgun and 2 hunting rifles. Thanks to viewer Adrian Dumitru from Romania for sending us this story. And finally, antis and horse lovers are furious that Australian officials want to reduce the numbers of snowy mountain brumbies by 90%. The government of New South Wales wants to reduce the number of feral ponies from 6,000 to just 600 within 20 years. It says the horses damage natural waterways and bogs and threatens fragile native alpine wildlife, including a rat and a frog species. Originally brought over by British settlers, the horses have been wild in Australia for 200 years. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, the last time we filmed Ulf Lindroth, we were inside the Arctic Circle and shooting rubber ducks at extreme distances. Well, this time he's come to the UK and he's joining Dom Holtam from Sporting Shooter and Crow down on the farm for a fox and fallow combo. We start our evening with young Dominic Holtam, editor of so many shooting titles these days. Many refer to him simply as Chief. But this sitting bull doesn't hold out much faith in bagging a fallow on Andy's deer-ridden farm.
Well, not really. I think luck is normally top of my list of feelings whenever you turn up with a camera. Tired resignation, frustration, wasted time, that kind of thing. There are deer about and they've not been hammered so far. We're only a couple of days into the season. The only slight negative tonight is that although the weather's great, it's very windy, and it's whether or not we can get the wind in our favour if we see them, or whether it just keeps them in the wood a bit. But you don't know if you don't try. And it's been the first time you've been able to lure me out for a crack at the fallow this year, so we'll keep our fingers crossed.
As it turns out, Dom is right. We spend a lovely evening wandering around the countryside, but a very strong wind puts a dampener on things. Even more so when we return to base to find Messrs Crow and Lindroth looking smug, having shot 2 fallow bucks in the bottom field.
The big one? That the palmation on the big one is like all that.
It's full, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't see deer that fat very often. This goes to show how well they can still do if they've got the right kind of conditions.
Anyway, Crow's crops are coming off and the local shoot needs a helping hand to keep on top of those pesky foxes. Crow is using the heavy barreled Ticker T3 in 243 with Steiner Range optics, Stalin Mod 70 grain Federal V-Shock, some polystyrene, a bit of glass and some genuine Crow's spit. We have the technology, plus a keen Swede behind the rifle.
So you know how you have these beautifully handcrafted wooden calls, and that's the kind of the hunting tradition for you. You know, there's artistry in the fox call.
Yeah.
Well, we do things slightly different in England.
Okay.
That sounds good. Obviously that'll work.
Only good. Only good.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. But which one do you think's best? There's only one way to find out.
I'm afraid that's going to be better now, but
Give us a tinkle on your particulars.
well, I broke my bird distress call coming here, so I'm kind of helpless here.
I've broke my polystyrene.
But I got the
That's pretty
That's
good.
a little. But that's more of a winter call, and then I've got the roe deer call. I can always try to do a little fawn, but
Pretty
may
good.
work. Otherwise, we'll just have to. That'll be third option.
Have you tried that a bit today?
This is a big rabbit. This is a small rabbit.
Oh, that's a good one.
Can you do a mouse?
I can do a mouse.
Oh.
Can you play Tchaikovsky?
Now, one of the beauties of international hunting regulations is that so many things are alien to the travelling hunter.
Is it a fox?
Ulf loves daylight fox calling in the open wilds of northern Sweden, but lamping them and shooting from vehicles is illegal back home. However, he soon gets the hang of it.
Yeah, it is difficult until you get used to it, I suppose.
That's right. It's a bit like anything, isn't it? Once you've done enough of it, it comes as second nature. So, but well, you did all right on this one.
Yeah.
Just hope we can find some more. We're struggling a bit tonight, and we've seen quite a few foxes, but they don't seem to be wanting to play ball. There's a lot of wind tonight, and every gateway we've come in, the winds are wrong for the way we've come in. It's the only way into the field, and of course they winded us as soon as we've come in, and off they've gone.
Andy, do you find that the foxes are generally a bit more flighty when it's windy?
When it is a bit windy, yeah, they are. They're on edge. They seem to be on edge. You go out on a still night and they squeak in a lot better, and they sit a lot better. But tonight, everything we've seen has been on its toes, and as if we've been out lamping them. We certainly haven't been out lamping them. So, because if we had been out lamping them, they'd been like this one, dead. So, but yeah.
The next time, should we give Ulf and I a chance of doing his hair call then if we see one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1-0 to the polystyrene.
Well,
yeah,
that's
the
right.
polystyrene sounds pretty good.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be a challenge. No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
How many foxes do you take out a year, would you say?
Not that many, 20 to 30 probably. But we've got fairly low populations, so we have to look for them further.
You must do a good job of shooting them then.
Yeah. Well, they don't have much to eat, so they don't grow so many.
Ulf gets another fox, and we find out more about the Swedish way of doing things, and it involves a lot more patience.
In Sweden, I could not transport the rifle on a motorized vehicle in terrain, and the field would be terrain.
Right.
I cannot shoot from a vehicle, I cannot use a vehicle to search for game animals, and I can't shoot with the aid of a spotlight, but I can shoot badgers all I want. And on badgers I can use a flashlight.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So they're kind of,
because you have to shoot them.
they're substandard over there, the badgers.
They seem to be somewhat lower on the scale.
Their PR machine in Sweden is not as efficient as it is in the UK.
No.
So it's open season on badgers in Sweden. Crazy Scandinavians. At the end of the evening we have 4 foxes, and Andy has a neat way of disposing of them.
I put all the dead foxes, everything goes now. I don't like seeing them left about. So we're lucky enough that we've got a straw burner that we burn all the straw to do the heating on the farm. So just get thrown in there, end off, keeps it nice and tidy. So yeah, job's done.
If you want to find out more about Ulf and his specialist fox calling, check out his DVD, Nordic Fox Calling in Sweden. Thank you everybody for that. Now, scouting is not just about sewing on badges after you've helped an old lady across the road, it's also about shooting. Our new boy, Alex Howell, reports.
Think scout camp, think knot tying, Think Woggles and renditions of Kumbaya? Not here.
As soon as they hit a clay target, the beam of smile they have on their faces, it's something you can't explain.
This International Jamboree has over 10,000 people on site, dwarfing most of the surrounding villages. There's live bands, big screens, extreme sports, and for the first time, the Scouts have a chance to pull the trigger.
The children come flooding up the hill first thing in the morning, several hundred of them, all rather apprehensive and nervous. They come through, they have their lessons, they hit some targets, and they come back with great big smiles on their faces. They absolutely love it.
We just done air rifle shooting, which was really good. I did quite bad, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, a lot of tips on how to do it, and then you try and improve every time.
It's quite therapeutic.
Just something different, really. It's fun.
Yeah, that's been good. I've been here 3 times and I've enjoyed it every time.
The Scouts have been provided with guns from Browning, and there are 410s or 20 bore for them to shoot. Before they are set free on the stands, they are measured up by the on-site gun fitter.
When the Scouts first come to me, who have never shot before, I then check looking at this card here, which shows whether they're right-handed, whether they're left-handed, whether they're right eye dominant, left eye dominant, and which shoulder then they can shoot off, and whether they actually need a comb razor to fit the gun to them prior to them going to our coaches and having the experience of shooting clays.
The Scout movement is all about providing new experiences for youngsters, and shooting teaches them that there's much more to it than putting lead down the barrel.
I imagine that many of them have never handled a firearm, and when integrating the safety aspects and safety training of using a firearm with the fun sport of clay shooting is just a fantastic opportunity. All the children are talking about it. It's just, it's been an awesome part of our activity.
My name's Simon.
Mine's George.
And how'd you get on? Have you done it before?
According to the BAS coaches, there was loads of talent on this clay line, with the potential of adding medals to those hard-earned badges.
Thank you, Alex. Right from Essex to the wider world of shooting and hunting on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. I start with an excellent cut together of hunting scenes from July by the superb German hunting channel Dreispross. He is stalking deer in the Müritz National Park in Mecklenburg, not far from Berlin. Another compilation, this time from the Roebuck rut in the Czech Republic. There are misses, close calls, and Folk VH gets one in the end. Potterek 81 Hunting from Poland brings out a film about how to call Roebuck. He has success attracting a silver medal animal. It's an extraordinary time of year. Shooters frequently tell of roe calls bringing in foxes, and even fox calls bringing in roe in July and August. This is the trailer to a video where Mikael Tam from Sweden calls in foxes and medal class roebucks. UK fox shooter calls foxes to shoot with videos recorded on an Armasight Drone Pro. It is a warm and breezy evening. Here is a pretty film just out about driven boar hunting in Slovakia. It is from web hunting article publisher shootingpress.com. Moving briefly to birds, we are only a couple of months away from the 2016-2017 rice season. That's what they call duck shooting on the rice fields of New South Wales and Australia. This is a taste about what rice hunting is all about. And finally, Jordan Miller is host and boss of Run to Gun, a US-based fitness training company that uses hunting as a way of keeping you fit. This film shows outtakes from his recent series and some proper dedication. That's it for this week. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, we are back next week. Thanks for watching, and thank you for watching and commenting on last week's show, The Grouse Moor, the year in the life. It did take a year to put together. This one obviously we just shoveled into the bag in under a week like usual. We are back next week. If you haven't done so already, please go to our website fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or pop your email address to our constant contact box and we'll constantly contact you about this show. Fieldsports Britain is out 7 PM UK time every Wednesday, and this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.